We will start our drive home with Dudley Dawson, Hawgs Illustrated, WholeHogSports.com with us. Dudley, good afternoon.
Gentlemen.
What's up?
Oh, not much, just to hit this and that, kids flipping, all those kind of things.
So let's start there. What is the story with Isaiah Sategna flipping from Oregon to Arkansas?
Well, I had a chance to talk with him about 10 to 15 minutes this morning. Real good conversation, and kind of boils down to the fact that Arkansas just really wasn't a very good football program, and he wasn't sure he wanted to be a part of it before the season started, but that early 4 wins and things they've done here lately in terms of, moving the football and things like that, and him seeing himself in the slot at the university just ended up making his decision to come here. And I would say it's mostly about the culture change that Coach Pittman has made here. Plus, it's always good to be, somewhere around home, even if this wasn't where he originally was from. He's kind of adopted it as his home.
So another thing that I saw, how much did Kenny Guyton's influence help out here in recruiting? Is, of course, the wide receivers coach at Arkansas in his first year at Arkansas with that job.
Yeah, I talked with him a little bit about that. He was a real big fan, he said, of Justin Stepp, obviously, who's now at South Carolina, who was the wide receiver coach, who offered him here when he was a sophomore. Arkansas was his first offer. And so, that always stuck with him. But he said he was a little worried when Guyton came in, even though Guyton was coming from Ohio State, had a nice, resume, and being from Ohio State, catch his kid's head. But he was a little worried about how that was going to be. Said Coach Pittman and Kendall Browse assured him that, Guyton was a good coach, good guy, and just get to know him. And as he's done that over the course of the last few months, and really, he said he started thinking about this during that 4-game stretch where Arkansas was winning, got closer to Guyton, and then made the decision earlier this week to let Pittman know. And I thought it was interesting. He said, Pittman said, well, glad to have you, and glad you finally got around to making the right decision.
Now, his dad is a track coach, correct? He was
yes, a
track
former
coach.
assistant track coach at the University of Arkansas. Not sure where he's employed right now, if he is.
Is he going to run? Is Isaiah Sategna going to run track at Arkansas?
Yes, also talk about that. He's certainly going to do that. He will not be an early enrollee. He'll be running track for Fayetteville, which I'm sure the Fayetteville track coach is really excited about. He's hoping to break 9 different state records this year in various events. I think he had 6 last year that he in personal best and all that. But he said he made the decision as a football program and not the track program. In fact, he hadn't even told the Arkansas track coaches that he was going to be doing this. Before he made the flip, he did let Pittman and his staff know. So he made the decision on a football thing. In fact, I talked about this before. He's a great player now. I thought coming into the season he was more of a track kid that was catching footballs. I think, having watched a couple of games on tape and a couple of games live now, he's become a really good slot receiver. He's become a football player who runs track. We'll see how he fares. Obviously, 5'11", 175. He's likely to be a little bit bigger, but I think he's gotten more physical as well. So I'm anxious to see how it translates to college football next year. He also talked about if Traylon Burks can go from Warren to Fayetteville to the NFL, he thinks he might have a chance to do that as well. And when you have kids, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, that ascend to a professional level or are in the process of doing that, certainly helps with recruiting.
So does this also give them the missing link in the special teams, in the return game? They haven't had a guy that could just flip the field since Joe Adams was here, really.
I would love to tell the fans yes, but I have seen several over the past 3 or 4 years that I believe should be back returning punts or kickoffs that don't for whatever reason. I don't know if it's, catching thing or cutting thing or whatever. But yes, he certainly, could be a force in the special teams, but I'm not going to say yes because, like I said, I've seen Bryce Stevens, so many of these other guys that, I thought would be guys back there too. So
he's got the one thing you can't coach, and that's just straight line speed. He's going to be a
Yeah,
project.
you can coach that a little bit.
You can't. I haven't met a football coach that can coach speed right now. It's like, hey, just go run as fast as you can. But he's not a polished route runner. That's something he's going to have to work on. Plus, at Fayetteville, they spread him out wide. He's on the outside. He hasn't played the true slot a lot.
Right.
It's a completely different discipline playing in one of the slots wide receiver spots. This is going to take time, and I think people who think he's just going to come on the field, special teams would have been the first place I would have gone, okay, he can make an impact there. But getting on the field at the wide receiver spot may take some time.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. One of the reasons I think they stayed after him, though, is because he is so good in space. And, obviously he can, as you said, he can become a better route runner, can get more physical. And Arkansas has some good wide receivers up there, some that have blossomed, some that have not. We'll see how many kids leave at the end of the year. There are a couple over there that hadn't played this year that, I would suspect that they'll move on. But I do think they believe he has a great future, even if, he may not come in and be a stud next year. Somebody is going to have to step up though, with Burks, likely going to the NFL. But I do agree with you that, he'll get better and better as he becomes more of a football player than a track guy, but also that being able to do things in space doesn't hurt.
And we're talking with Dudley Dawson here on Ruskin and Zach. And that, you just laid out one of the challenges of any college football coach at the big time level is you get the brand new exciting thing, and if you don't use them enough the right way, maybe they go portal on you. I mean, Mullen's going into this now down in Florida. It's a new thing you have to balance as a coach, right? Because now this is an option.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Miles Brennan, who was going to be the starting quarterback at LSU and got hurt and didn't play, he's in the portal. You're somebody new every day. One other thing I wanted to point out, I'm sure there are some out there with Isaiah having initially committed to Texas A&M and decommitted, and then flipping to Oregon and now flipping from Oregon to here, wonder if he's going to stay solid with this. And then in recruiting, there's no assurances that things move along. But he talked with me a little bit about how this was even tougher having decommitted once, worrying about, sort of a little about reputation and what people would think about it. But he said in the end, even though he loved Oregon, that and coaches out there and their track program, football program, and all that, in the end he had to do what was right for him, not his family, not Arkansas, not Oregon, but what he thought was right for him. And he really said, that when they first recruited him, that the program was an embarrassment, which y'all talk about daily under Chad Morris, but that he really believes that they've recovered some and they're going to continue to get better, and obviously he now wants to be a part of that.
Now, I don't know if you asked him this, but this just popped into my head. Could, seeing the way that football players are monetizing the NIL here in Arkansas, we're seeing commercials during games with the offensive linemen and different people on there, could that have been something that maybe would be something that would be influential in making a decision like this?
Well, it certainly could be, but I'm in a slippery slope thing here, in that I used to work and be employed by the University of Arkansas, and I have to be very careful at what I say to them. And I would never encourage anybody to go to Arkansas. I would never encourage anybody to not go to Arkansas or give them reasons they should and all that, because one time Mississippi State turned me in for what they thought was a recruiting violation, and it wasn't. It didn't go anywhere. Richard Williams, the basketball coach down there. But no, I don't usually get into that situation with him. Yes. You remember Richard Williams?
Yes, I do.
They took him to the Final Four with Eric Dampier, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Dudley, you're...
Yeah, so I'm very cognizant of, when I'm talking to these kids, what I say, and I tape absolutely everything.
Right. Mm-hmm. So. Right. Well, I wasn't talking about anything, suspicious here.
I do think it plays a factor in it. If you are an Arkansas kid, whether you've been here 4 years or your entire life, and you come to this program, they are going to find a way to make sure it's a very good physical decision, and that's with an F and not with a P.
Right. I mean, you watch a game on CBS. And this is not a knock; it's just an observation. Every break there is there's the law firm that's got the offensive line in there. They've got Drew Morgan doing stuff. So it is they've done a that may be something that's beneficial.
Okay, so let's
Kentucky basketball players are getting crypto now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. The Doge is barking.
So read between the lines with me here, because this isn't a football decision. There's no way you're taking Arkansas over the number 4 team in the country, okay? To me, it sounds like he was looking for a reason to come home. Absolutely. And I think that's what he got. This isn't about football or track, because Oregon's track program's really good. Their football team's really good. I think he was, like you said at the beginning of the year, this thing was a disaster. It's turned itself around. He was just looking for a reason to come home.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that, and I'll equate it somewhat with Sasha Goforth, who really wanted to get out. She'd been in Fayetteville all her life, really wanted to get out, see what it was like. Went out to Oregon for a year, Oregon State, and decided, she wanted to get back home. I think he, is kind of that parallel in the same thing that, boy, this Oregon thing, when you're a kid in Oregon, the great uniforms, Nike, all that, it seems like a great deal. But if you're going to be away from all your friends, be away from your family, situations like that, then, you begin thinking about it a little bit. And the fact that they won those first 4 games and really beating Texas A&M, which I don't think you can dismiss for him because he grew up in Austin and he was committed to Texas A&M, I think gave him a reason to look closer at the situation and has decided that's the best situation for him now.
Yeah. Okay. Dudley Dawson, our guest here on Ruskin and Zach. I guess we haven't spoken since the resolution of the situation there in North Little Rock, but the signatures are there, and it's game on.
But now we've got another problem with Sylvan Hills. Correct?
That? Yeah. Yes, they have another player there that who transferred that has now been ruled ineligible, and I assume they're working on that in the same situation. But I told you when I was on here that one time that somebody would start talking about legal, and everybody would say, "Okay, we're good here. We're signing. And yeah,
was it that?
Again, if he'd have been a two-star basketball guy, maybe not 5-star. People got to work it.
Was it that, or the legislature threatening to bring everybody in and question everybody?
You can't. You got to give her some credit. I think that maybe they should stay out of that. But boy, when she mentioned it, they were like, "Hey, okay, yeah."
But this time around, and I got this phone call last night. The player in question now is not a 5-star basketball player.
Nope, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. He's also a quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Off the field stuff these days, we seem to write too much about it and not enough on the field.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Hey, you're getting ready, I'm sure, another event tonight at the Grove with the Razorbacks, right?
Yep. Looking forward to going down there. We had a little excitement this morning. Got a text from Chris Likes at 4 a.m.
What?
Saying that he was sick and wasn't going to be able to practice today and wasn't going to be able to come to the deal. But, we reached out and landed, instead of 5'7" Chris Likes, we've got 7'3" Connor Vanover, who will be there. And I'm sure that will be a lot of people taking pictures because, they always like that. And then Amber Ramirez, who's obviously a very good women's basketball player, will be there. So looking forward to that. And also, it will coincide with me getting off for 48 hours, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, okay. Hey, did you hear about the fire over at the stadium?
No, I did not.
Yeah, they set a bunch of popcorn on fire. The headline isn't that they set a fire at the stadium; it's that they actually make the popcorn 48 to 72 hours ahead of time.
Good grief!
Yeah.
I guess that's something you have to do, but man. They need to learn about this microwave stuff. I throw in there for a minute and a half.
That's right. Yeah,
you do a minute and a half. You don't get all of it. No, it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, we do our own thing around here at the Dawson.
It depends on the microwave.
Yeah, I guess
it's very dependent on the microwave because the popcorn button on my microwave doesn't do it enough. You have to physically input the correct time.
How much time do you put in?
2 minutes.
The only thing I know how to do with the stove is turn it on.
Yes.
I have a very, very powerful microwave because it is the key. Is the key when the wife's not home. She loves to cook, by the way. When she's not home, I got to feed myself somehow. It usually goes through that microwave.
Through the microwave. There you go. All right, Dudley, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You bet, guys. Thanks.
Dudley Dawson, Hawgs Illustrated, WholeHogSports.com.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.